Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. Let go of negative thinking and stop living for the weekend. With your host, Fran Excel.
So welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel Mindset Coach, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful you've chosen to put me in your earbuds today. Please do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and do leave me a review. I love reading them, and it really helps me get found by other people who need to hear what I share. I'd also love you to email me your mindset and productivity questions or topics you'd love me to cover to hello@franexcel.com, because I know a lot of you think I'm inside your heads because you tell me all the time. But if I don't know what you need, I can't give it to you. So let me know. So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, I work with people one-on-one and through my Proactive Pants Mastermind. So stop waiting for if and when and decide to change things now, because you can.
What a hugely unexpected, occasionally traumatic, but hugely exciting and game-changing year 2020 has been so far. And we're only just halfway through. I have been loving watching so many people waking up to their unconscious programming in so many ways. Nothing makes me happier. Why? My favorite quote is why. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This stuff that has been going on is everything I talk about, happening in real time before your eyes. So what does this mean in practical terms when, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate? Until you question things that you do or think unconsciously or work out where they come from, those things will dictate your entire life. The thoughts you have, the feelings you have, the behavior you exhibit, the actions you take, and the results you get. Literally, how you shape your life for the positive and for the negative. So you can see where the law of attraction comes in without its wishy washy coating, right? So why is this so exciting to me? When something starts being unconscious, you get to consciously choose differently. And we're doing that on a global scale right now. It gives you back choice. It makes you understand you always had one all along, but you just didn't know it. It means that change can happen. It means you have no choice but to take responsibility for your part in where you are, which is a good thing. It means you can now create the life that you actually want. Being in lockdown and catapulted out of our usual routines, habits, and ways of thinking has meant a huge amount of people have taken a little step back and gone, hang on a minute. They've had the time and the space to think and actually analyze the way that they do things. Not only for them as individuals, but across the board on a global scale. We're waking up, so to speak, of the ways we are unconsciously conditioned in so many ways via the media, our own social circles, education, the government, employment, all of it. We've all had to look at things and think about them differently. That is why I'm excited, because it is a huge space for change. So what does this mean for you personally? You get to think about what you really want. And if you're homeschooling, there will be some time, somewhere, time block it in your diary to really think about this. You get to challenge what you've been told is possible and decide for yourself. Are you building something for your life based on what you want or what you think you can have? You get to question your beliefs around yourself and realize how much of it's just not true. It's not come from you. We take so many seemingly small instances when we're young, make it mean something, generalize it out, and then let it govern your life moving forwards. That is the stuff you need to break out from. That's the stuff that's stopping you getting the results you want. And when you make that unconscious stuff conscious, that is when the fun happens. So think about all the things you've told yourself your whole life. It is open season, my friends. Anything goes. You get to challenge it all if you want to. Now, this is not something to be overwhelmed by. I would recommend picking one area of life at a time, but it's so exciting. It's great for you for you personally, and challenging this stuff is good for the whole world. You know, you get to challenge your bias. You get to see people differently. You get to see situations differently. Really open your eyes. You get to live from a place that is so much more truthful, honest, and authentic to who you are and what you really believe. You know, it's going to open so many doors to so much potential. You know, you're going to be based more in reality than you ever have been. When you wake up to the fact that so many things you've told yourself, so many things that other people have told you are just not true, then it's very difficult to just ignore that and carry on as you were. So you may have been having a few, hang on, that doesn't make sense kind of conversations in your head. So what do you do with them? Get out the old journal or start yourself a Google Doc, my friends, whatever floats your boat. When you start to realize, or at least start to understand, that we're all programmed from birth, advertisers are very aware of this. You know, that we don't have that conscious rationalizing filter until we're about 8 years old. So much weight can be lifted from your shoulders. You realize it's not your fault. You realize it's not an identity thing. Some of this program is positive, some, and the majority is negative. You learn what is normal for you and safe through what you observe, what you hear, see, and behavior that you model. So this shapes how you show up in relationships, in your career, in communities, in family, friendships, the way you are with money, what you believe is right and wrong, where you sit in the world, all of it. This then gets programmed into our subconscious, and we continue to live on autopilot. So you can see how something you learned as a child becomes how you behave as an adult. But are you really going to let a 5-year-old govern your life? How many of you are feeling empathy over anger for those ex-boyfriends who didn't know any better? You know, most of this programming is disempowering. But now you do know. You get to choose where you live from. Do you want to live from your conscious or your unconscious? So where do you start? Start with unearthing a few of those beliefs or biases and see if they serve you or hurt you. Do they serve or hurt other people? Start with these questions. How do you perceive yourself? What do you believe is possible for you? What do you believe about money? What do you believe about success? What do you believe about relationships? What do you believe about society? What do you believe about men or women? Or how do you feel around people who are different to you? You know, it's not just the thoughts, it's the feelings you need to look for and pay attention to. What makes you feel uncomfortable? What makes you feel safe? You really are capable of anything, and you're capable of living a life way beyond your wildest dreams when you start looking at this stuff, genuinely. When you unearth this stuff, you'll see why the strategy hasn't been working. You'll understand why you can't get yourself to do certain tasks that you know will move you forwards. You'll see why the same things seem to keep happening, why you're repeating the same patterns over and over again. You'll see why you haven't put yourself forward for certain things. Aristotle said, give me a child until he is 7 and I will show you the man. And now I'm hoping that this is starting to make sense. For all you parents out there, realizing what's at stake, do not panic. You alone are not responsible. You have little control over what a child makes something mean to them. But with awareness of this, what an opportunity. My wonderful friend Francesca created the Happy Self Journal, which I will link up in the show notes. It is a great place to start and something you can bring into your lives as a family. I'm so lucky to kind of be a part of it at the beginning and see how it's grown since then. It's incredible. It's such a positive thing to bring into your family's lives. Start with also, what are they watching? What are they reading, listening to? Is it messaging that you want them to have? Is there a book out there with messaging you do want them to have that you can get for them instead of the norm? You know, the younger generation is where societal change can really be affected. You can see it happening now. All the images of children taking part in Black Lives Matter and saying these amazing things. All the kids who are taking the environment seriously. All these kids with big ideas and big dreams. It's magic. So go through the exercise and really, really challenge yourself with your questions. You know, the more you can get your conscious mind to observe these unconscious thoughts, excuses, beliefs, etc., you know, the better. Listen to what you tell yourself. Seek new knowledge and stop accepting everything as absolute fact. Your brain is always going to find you the evidence to support what you believe. So seek other viewpoints. Find new knowledge. Put yourself in situations for that to be the outcome. Then use repetition to create new thought habits. Choose where you spend your time wisely. Be mindful of what you consume, the media you choose, the movies you watch, what you listen to, read, etc. Limit, for the love of God, your social media. If you're not going to curate it a little bit, limit it. You know, what is helpful and what's not. 2020 has brought a huge amount to the surface globally. And yes, that really does make me so flipping excited. And I cannot wait to see the positive changes that can come from it all. We've all just got to choose it. You know, this isn't about being wrong with what you've been programmed with before or what you've believed before. You get to choose now. This work can be hugely enlightening, but also draining. You know, you're used to saving so much energy being on autopilot. Self-care needs to be a priority during this. Being kind to yourself and other people is a priority in this. Change is hard. Change is messy, but it can be oh so freaking beautiful. And you're the one in control. So what do you want? And how do you want to live? And if you want my help on your journey to unpicking this stuff so you can finally quit the self-sabotage, then book in a call. I'll link it up in the show notes to see if we're a good fit. Onwards and upwards, my friends. Changes are coming.
And as always, I hope that was helpful. So any questions, just let me know. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.